Hello, and welcome back to another Tech Noobsters video. This is basically a kind of like a part 2 to last Saturday's video. You're aware of DKOldies as well as Lukey Games, and they're like the two most well-known online off like retro game retailers or whatever you'd call them, resellers. And they have both been uh, given backlash for their pricing, as well as not refurbishing their consoles properly. As you can see, we have the DKOldies store up here with Joey's head. But here's their webpage. It looks fine. But let's go to the Wii because that's what I had last week for the video. And so let's go to the Wii's and see what they're charging. If you want a player pack, so this is an acceptable Wii player pack for $75. Okay, so then let's go to Lukey Games. They have a similar, interesting front page layout. And if we go through the Wii systems, so this is a little bit different. This is a family edition, but it's also a no GameCube compatibility, and it includes the Wii console, the sensor bar, the controller, nunchuck, and the power AV, refurbished, tested, and guaranteed to work. So this is basically the same thing, except it's a family edition, which means that the Wii logo is just horizontal. If we were just compared to the exact same thing, this family edition for $50 is undercutting DKOldies for $15 by $15, which is a sizable amount. So let's go to like an eBay store reseller. So we have Vumwa, and then we search Wii. So they start at about 66 to 76. This $66 one with so black, it's actually $77 with the controller. In the seller's note, it says this item is discounted because it's carefully tested, fully worked, clean, and sanitized, but has heavy signs of wear such as deep scratches, cosmetic cracks, small method spots, etc. So for the most part, this is technically a worse deal. But I actually contacted all three sellers that we're going to be going through, and Vumwa was the only one that got back to me within 6-ish hours as I've recorded this. And you'll see the message up on the right here. They basically say that they clean inside and out with a compressed air, but they do not do any actual hardware repair or repasting. So next we have GameSwift, which is probably the biggest reseller on here. So the cheapest one they have here is $59. Includes console, AV, power, sensor, third-party Wii remote, and nunchuck. The console might be missing a game port cover. Console has melting feet. So basically, this is what they consider to be their cosmetically flawed Wii. Inherently, everything works, but like it says, it might have a missing panel or a melted feet. So this is what would be more considered like just a purely used console. So next, the next most common console that's usually bought is like Xbox 360s. Currently, they have some sales going on, but the cheapest one is an Xbox 360 Slim, 4 gig for $100, and that comes with probably a third-party controller and all the hookups, as well as just not being refurbished. You have a 250 gig version for 140. You have a Model E 4 gig for 120. You have a standard for 20 gig for 110. So you have all that. And then let's see what Lukey Games is wanting. Okay, so the only one that's in stock is their Xbox 360 20 gig. I'm assuming this is the standard for 130, which if you compare that to DKOldies, it's $20 more. Their 4 gig Slim is 132 compared to DKOldies for 100. Now, these prices you see here are actually the cosmetically flawed price, so I'm not actually sure what they're calling. So this is in great condition. So for 132 for a great condition, here it's 150 for a good condition. And this comes with a wired controller, oddly enough. So for the most part, DKOldies and Lukey games are similar-ish price. DK is like $20 more for their good conditioned ones. If we go back to Vuma, they start at 92 for their cosmetically flawed, but at least cleaned inside and out with compressed air. So here's Game Swift, and they have a refurbished white for $105, which is a really good price, to be honest. They have a black version for 120. They have a Model E 250 gig for 142. So that's basically those are the two. That's the two good comparisons. I know with GameSwift, their PS3s are kind of hit or miss. Same with Vumwa. The final verdict, honestly, is DKOldies and Lukey Games aren't charging that much, or at least you would think that. But the thing is, you gotta remember they're selling on their own sites. On eBay, they're selling with fees. So if we're to take a calculator out, so let's take this 150 gig Xbox 360 from DKOldies. So it's $150, right? They're gonna pay about I've shipped consoles, I've sold consoles, and they're gonna roughly pay about $20 for pretty decent shipping. And they are selling off their own platform with a external web store service or whatever. The best percentage I can get off of this would be roughly 6% after the web store and PayPal fees or credit card fees. So we're gonna put a generous 7.5%. So that's about $10 in fees roughly. And so that leaves DKOldies with roughly $120 worth of profit. Obviously that could be up or down $10. Okay. So if we go to Lukey Games for a similar thing. So again, so this is 132.50. We'll just do that. Minus 20 for shipping, minus 7.5%. That leaves them with about $104. So let's just say flat 100. So they're making $100 for the console. So let's go with GameSwift's $120 refurbished Xbox Series S or Xbox 360S. So it's $120, right? So $20 for shipping. They're already at $100. So they're already lower. And then with eBay, it is depending on your, if you want to pay to have less fees and such, it'll vary. But for the most part, if you personally just go on eBay and sell a console, you're going to get charged 13%. So that's $87. So let's say they do pay the $30, $40, $50 a month for the subscription, the store subscription, so they get lower fees. So let's go back to 100 minus 10%. That still leaves them with $90. So if DKOldies wanted to be more reasonable with their pricing, what they can do is they can sell for the same $120 minus $20 shipping, and then take out 7.5%. That leaves them with $5 extra per console. That's at $120. Obviously, they have a warranty, so let's say $125 minus $20 shipping minus a very generous estimate, or a very overly big estimate of 7.5%, and that leaves them with $97 per console, nearing the $100 mark. So let's say $40. Take it home. I take maybe 30 minutes to refurbish it with a repasting. So that's 30 minutes. Let's say I want to pay myself $15 an hour, which is probably about the rough average of what they would be charging or paying their staff. So that means I would make $8. Let's say it's $50 for the console and the $50 for the console and my time for refurbishing it. And then, so if I sell it, I make $75, a reasonable $75 profit. That means I make $25 plus the extra $10 I paid myself for working on it. So that's $35 profit. And I'm almost certain that DKOldies, when they buy consoles, they probably buy them for 20 or 30 bucks each. And granted, I'm pretty sure they pay for the shipping too. But and what they're doing on the refurbishment process, even if they're just taking a can of spray and a compressed spray air can and just going over the top and over just like going through the inside and then taking a wipe and then cleaning it down, that takes like 10 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes for that console if it's not broken. So that means they would pay their staff like $2, $3 for that console. So that means, let's say they pay after shipping $40 for the console, same as I would, and then they pay $5 for the thing. So that's $50. They pay $5 to the staff, so that's $55 or $45, and then they sell it. They make about $110 worth of profit, I think, or $110. So you subtract the 45, so that leaves you with basically $85 of profit. Basically double of what I would make. Now, obviously, I'm a one-man person and I pay myself less, and the company needs to make money, but that's just outrageous. Everything basically needs to drop down $25. If they drop everything down $25 from where it is now, I would consider it to be a reasonable value. And yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. If you did, remember, like, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe for more content. Keep that notification bell on. And yeah, thank you guys, and goodbye.